Back to MGM.
Yes, but then I went to New York first. I was wanted in a Broadway show, which I did with Ray Bolger and Jackie Gleason.
What show was that?
And Jane Froman, a show called Keep Off the Grass.
Jane Froman.
Yes.
Great, great. Loved her. She was wonderful. Love her.
Anyway, MGM let me go back and do that. That was 1940. Then I came back, and I kind of sat around collecting a check every week, you know, and nothing, you know, they weren't putting me in anything. So finally I told Billy Grady, who was the casting director, I said, Billy, what am I here for? Aren't I going to work or sing or do something? So he said, oh, Virginia, all right. They put me in Sky Murder with Walter Pidgeon. Well, I didn't have one word to say. I didn't sing. All I did was scream throughout the movie. It was a murder mystery. Oh, that was fun.
But what was your first MGM musical? What was that? Hullabaloo, was it?
It was Hullabaloo.
Who was in that?
Frank Morgan, Virginia Gray, Dan Daly.
Dan Daly? Really? He's been in films a long time, Dan Daly, huh?
I think it was Dan. No, it wasn't. It was Tony Martin.
Tony Martin. Okay, okay.
Well, I mean, who can remember that far back? Just remember, I used to be your grandfather's pinup girl.
Right. Look at her. I want to show you Virginia O'Brien with Judy Garland and the Harvey Girls. Look at this. This is with you and who's the other girl?
Sid Charisse.
Sid Charisse. Look at that.
That number we did on the balcony.
The Harvey Girls.
Cold, Cold World.
Cold, Cold World. Oh, great, great song.
Yes.
Beautiful song.
I have that in my album that I just cut.
And who's this? This is, Red Skelton, naturally.
Yes.
Yes. What was this? What movie was this in, Virginia?
Oh, it says on the back.
It does?
No, that was actually, we did some publicity shots at Red's home, but...
this was one of the movies you did. It
didn't
didn't
but
say.
They wanted publicity.
A little pilot, this is just, this doesn't say.
It doesn't?
No.
What's all that printing?
Well, it's Dan Daly, Red Skelton, it doesn't say. First, doesn't say at all. Well, anyway, this is one beautiful picture of you. This is what I mean by a dark-haired beauty. Dark-haired beauty. Isn't she beautiful? Isn't she lovely? That's Virginia O'Brien. That was a great, and your second movie, what was that?
The Big Store.
The Big Store. What year was that in? 41?
41.
41? When did you make all these wonderful movies at MGM, the Sigfield Girls? What years? Sigfield Follies.
Well, we started with, then they put me in from the Bees, the black and white Bees, to the colored, musicals. And let's see, 42 or 3, started making like Panama Hattie and Jewberry and
Panama Hattie,
Till the Clouds Roll By and the
That was a great
Girls.
movie, Till Clouds Roll By. What song did you do
They
in that?
just showed that on this channel.
It did? Really?
Sunday night at 10 o'clock, but I was in Palm Springs, so I didn't get to tune in.
Oh, really? Tell me, like Judy Garland, what kind of a girl was she? What kind of a lady?
Oh,
Miss Judy Garland.
She was a lady and
she
a
was.
talent.
Yes, great talent.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
She, that lady didn't have to come and rehearse like Sid and I would be on the rehearsal stage, for quite a few days, weeks, whatever, learning all those songs that we did in the Harvey Girls. And Judy, she'd come in probably the day before we were shooting the number, and she'd walk through it. I don't know, but she knew exactly what she was doing.
She did, huh?
Oh, yes.
She's a great talent.
Oh, absolutely.
You were married to the first Superman. People didn't know that. You Miss Kurt Allen?
Kurt Allen.
Kurt Allen, huh?
Kirk, K-I-R-K.
Kurt Allen, He was he had a series of Supermans. Did he do?
Ran at the Pantages Theater. It was it was a series. Sam Katzman was a producer. He made it for Columbia Pictures.
What kind of a man Louis B. Mayer was? I'd love to know. Was he a? I know he was a great man, but what kind of a man, Virginia, really?
He was a close friend of my father's. He was a gentleman and a brilliant man. Oh, absolutely. Well, he ran the
studio,
biggest studio in Hollywood. And, of course, I was a guest at his home many times. And as I say, he was a good friend of my dear dad's, being as my dad was in the business he was. And
you grew
hands off Virginia O'Brien, so I didn't have any problems at MGM.
And you really grew up in the business, didn't you?
Oh, yes. I was in Mack Sennett Comedy when I was about 2 or 2.5. Uncle Lloyd used the home I was born in right near Dodger Stadium. And he'd come down with that, the cameras that I used to
Right. But Virginia, where did this pan face all of this. That's what you got scared. Is that how?
That's how it happened. And meet the people.
And meet the people.
In rehearsing, I was, I thought I was going to be Ethel Merman. She was my idol, and I just wanted to be just like Ethel. But about the first night out in front of the audience, and instead of moving my arms, this, and no expression, and people laughed at me, and I ran off stage crying. And my mother, I said, "Oh, what are they crying?" "Oh, I'm laughing." They're laughing at me. And Danny Dare said, "Well, you just keep doing what you're doing, Virginia. That's great." I said, "But what am I doing?" I didn't know.
And that's where it all began.
That's how it happened.
Well, I'm glad it happened that way because it's great. You're the only one. Tell me, you did a movie with Donald O'Connor and Francis?
Francis in the Navy.
The Navy. God, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch all the Donald O'Connor's movies, and
they were cute movies.
Yeah, they were.
The Francis pictures. And I did one with Ed Asner at Disney's in '78, I think it was.
78.
Called Gus. A cute picture.
What's that wicked song you do? That what movie was
Life
it?
Up on the Wicked Stage.
Right.
That's from Till the Clouds Roll By.
Till the Clouds Roll By.
The life story of Jerome Kern.
Great. That was a great movie. I loved it. Frank Sinatra was in that too, wasn't he? Was Frank Sinatra in that?
I didn't see him.
Yeah, okay. I thought he was. He wasn't? They had all the MGM singers and dancers in that?
I don't think he was.
He wasn't? Okay, maybe I'm wrong then. Okay, as usual. But
I could be wrong, Skip.
That's all right. No, I'm a movie buff. I love movies, But I thought Frank Sinatra really was in that. But your uncle, Lloyd, getting back to your uncle, Lloyd Beacon, isn't it?
Bacon.
Bacon? Yeah. Tell me about him. He's done some great films, like what?
Oh, yes. He did Marked Woman with Betty Davis.
That's it.
Yes,
right.
And he did a lot of those Navy pictures. In fact, he directed Newt Rockney with Ronald and Pat O'Brien, who was a close friend. He was always a guest on our...
You're still singing, aren't you?
You're
still, you're working still today. Yeah. You're doing cabarets, and you're working. There's a place you do in Hollywood at the, what is it called? It's at the, where all the actors go on in Hollywood.
Doing the Masters?
The Masters, yes.
Oh, yes.
You do a show there once in a while, huh?
Yes, I've been appearing in The Drunkard. We put that on every once in a while, so it's fun.
It's fun, yes. And you also appeared in, just recent, in Hollywood at a club at the
Gardenia.
Yeah, right.
That's where I cut my record.
Oh, really?
My album.
You did an album. You have an album out. What's it called, Virginia?
It's a tribute to the MGM musicals.
You did all your songs? Oh, great. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it should be kind of fun.
Great. Virginia, I would like you to meet right now a very, very fine comedienne. She is from Australia, and she is just wonderful. Let's give her a nice big welcome. Maureen Murphy, who's been on Johnny Carson. Hello, Maureen. How are you, darling? This is Virginia.
Hello.
Where's your little slipper?
Okay.
Let me snap you on, darling. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
You look good.
Thank you.
Haven't seen you in so long. You just got back from where? You were in New York or Vegas? Vegas, that's it. You were in Vegas, weren't you?
In Akron and Detroit, on the road a little bit.
Maureen has appeared on Johnny Carson's show many, many times. She's been on about 10 times, haven't you, dear? Yeah. I discovered Maureen in, well, I didn't discover you, but I've seen you at the first time I discovered you. You were on at the Americana Hotel in New York City. She was under another name by the name of Daphne Davis. And she was doing impressionists. She was a singing impressionist, and wonderful. She does Tallulah Bankhead, and she does Katharine Hepburn, and she's just wonderful. I wonder why you changed your act to be a stand-up comedian.
There's not too many people left to do impression of. You know that the star system produced such great people, but now that everybody's very bland and they don't have the character that they used to have. So who do you do? How do you do Bo Derek?
I see what you mean. You don't want to do the old timers anymore. I see.
Besides, it was time for me to change. It might change again. With Skippy, you knew me as Daphne.
Daphne Davis.
But I've been in Hollywood before that, and I had other names too.
You had other names?
I
didn't know that.
Yes, I did.
Really?
Yes.
What other names, darling?
Diana West, Cynthia Norman.
Diana
and,
West.
I came to Hollywood first and stayed at, the Franklin Hotel. There was a giant living there, and the midgets and all that. We first came, and my sister and I, we were the Didgeridoo sisters for a time. We sang live on the Wicked stage together, but it didn't go too well. Our act wasn't the greatest. But she did her belly dancing, and I did my singing
You did
cartooning.
this here? I didn't know that.
Yeah. and we did Life on the Wicked Stage.
Oh,
Yes, and we were called the Didgeridoo Sisters, and we sang Australian songs also.
You should have belly danced to Life on the Wicked Stage?
Well, we did quick changes.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, I see.
And that was an act a long time.
Have you been to Australia? Have you?
No.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful place.
I was asked to go
Very
many
American.
years ago,
Very
but
American. They're very
I would
much.
on an airplane, so it would take 6 weeks on a boat, and I didn't want to take that time.
You don't fly?
I do now.
Oh yeah, but they're very macho in Australia. They drink beer and they're.
You like that, Skippy?
Well,
You
I
would?
like it. Yes.
You would? I do some
I've
jokes
been there.
about Australian macho men.
Oh, you do?
You know, that
Like what?
some parts of Australia, the time you kangaroo down is considered a love song. You know, those kind of jokes. Yeah.
Funny. That's cute.
But you know, I love your showcases because they're wonderful to try out material.
Oh,
and
you mean
always-
at the Hollywood Roosevelt?
Yeah, but you've
Yeah.
always had wonderful showcases,
thank you,
Skippy,
darling.
and
That's
you've
very
always been
sweet
a
of
real
you.
big supporter of comedians, and
Oh, that's-
you're terrific.
Well, you're very
That's
sweet.
why I wanted to come on
Tell
into
me.
your show.
Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you for coming in. Maureen, tell me something. In Australia, do you find the audiences different now? Or their attitudes are...
They
what
were
do you think?
corny. Well, when I was there, it was corny, and the act I had used to do the sketching, you know, and get a man up from the audience and sketch his picture and sing. And I'd draw Winston Churchill to There'll Always Be in England, and then I would take my skirt off. I had a little leotard with a little rose that went on and off, that light one that was on the rose, and I'd sing a kind of Ruth Wallace type song. So that was the act. Then it didn't go. That kind of act wouldn't go here.
No, I see. But tell me, but you did your impressions there, didn't you?
No.
You didn't. You only
No.
you did your impressions here when you started here in
No,
America.
no. When I first came here, I was doing the singing cartoonist.
Right.
And then I worked at a lot of burlesque houses, strip joints. You know,
I did too. That's where I started.
I
I did all those. With Hope Diamond, the Gym of the Exotics, I did all that years ago.
It's good practice.
Yes, it is.
And I had introduced the strippers and run to the bar and have the fake orange juice,
Great.
and then run back
Beautiful,
and then try
darling.
to do jokes.
That's wonderful. That's,
You think so?
I think, well, it's good experience.
Good
It was great. The kids today don't have that experience. They work the Comedy Store, but it's a completely different audience. You're entertaining. See, they're working for entertainers. They're not entertaining. They're not working from a live audience. You know, don't you think so?
They don't get the true...
True, right. Midwestern
reaction,
people.
right.
I wouldn't want to work those burlesque houses again. I tell you, they were tough with those men sitting there with the
You're a woman.
newspapers and.
Yeah, I understand how you feel.
Yeah.
For me, it was, I enjoyed it, you know, and I had a great experience on that. But tell me, Maureen, you don't sing at all in your act?
I think I got rid of all the props, so I don't sing anymore. I used to do Marilyn Monroe, you know,
Yes,
with
right.
the skirt
Fabulous,
blowing up,
yeah.
and Judy Garland. And
But you know what I
those
loved?
people.
Your Katharine Hepburn. You've got to hear her do Katharine Hepburn, darling. She's wonderful. Would you do
And
Katharine
the
Hepburn?
African
for-
Queen.
Yeah, would you?
Okay, Mr. Ornat, your body is covered with slimy leeches. He loves me. He loves me not.
Isn't that wonderful? Thank you, darling.
That's all right.
Just a little Marilyn.
You know, I can't do that anymore.
can't?
I used to do it with the wigs and the costume
right,
and the
right,
skirt
right,
blowing
right.
up. I just
But
did
the
the
other
song.
one you do is, you do Betty Davis, don't you? You do Betty. You do a little Betty for me.
All right.
Please.
I hate you. I hate everything about you. You and your medical career. You call yourself a surgeon. Look what you've done to my mouth.
I love it. I love you, darling. That's beautiful. Do you know we have a wonderful singer, singing act right now? I'm going to bring on. It's a mother and a son and mother. Did you ever see a son and mother act? I have never. Have you?
Probably in Australia there are quite a few.
In Australia, son and mother. Have you, Virginia? I've seen
Never.
fathers, daughters,
Yeah, right.
brothers, but I've never seen a son and mother act. I discovered him at Studio One, and I'm going to bring him here today for you. Okay? Let's give him a nice big welcome. David and Jean Litus. Let's hear it out there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Great.
Oh, I feel a song coming on, and I'm warning it, it's a victorious, happy and glorious new strain. Well, I feel a song moving on, and I'm warning you, I got the beat, I can compete on Soul Train. You'll hear a tuneful story ringing through ya, love and glory and hallelujah. And now, samba rhythm flowing through ya. Love and glory, hallelujah, hallelujah. And now that my troubles are gone, let those heavenly drums go on drumming. 'Cause I feel a song coming on. Nobody can tell ya there's only one song worth singing. They may try to tell ya, but it hangs them up to see someone like you. Make your own kind of music, sing your own special song. Make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. So if you cannot take my hand, and if you must be going, I will understand. Make your own kind of music, sing your own special song. Make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. 'Cause I feel a song coming on, coming on.
Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. That's fine. Great. Beautiful. Thank you. That's great. Thank you very much. That's David and Jean Litus, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me, you have been married how many times? Three?
Three.
And how many kids do you have? Children do you have?
4.
4. My Lord. And you have boys?
3 daughters and a son.
3, huh? Are they in the business?
My oldest daughter, she's visiting now from Vegas. She plays electric bass.
She does.
Yeah, and I was thinking of maybe might get her in my act and take her to New York with
Right.
me.
Why not?
Oh, really?
That'd be great. Yes.
Wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
That'd be
she's done a
fun.
lot. She's worked with everybody in Vegas. She's lived there for 16 years.
16 in Las Vegas.
She went to Vietnam. She sang behind the lines.
Did she really?
Oh,
I did too. I did the same
Did
thing.
you?
Yes, I did. I worked all I did all the bases all over Taipei, Manila.
Thailand, and
I did
she
all
was-
that too.
uh-huh.
I did military shows. Yeah.
Yeah, she
It's
did
fun.
all
It's a lot of
those
fun.
things.
It's a good experience. You did military shows, have you?
Mhm.
Yeah, you were overseas.
I
weren't
never
you?
been married either.
No, you've never been married.
No,
You're
But
single.
you were going to try to fix me up with a macho stud type.
That's
remember?
right.
I was going to try with a leather jacket.
Do they have a lot of them around here in Hollywood? Do they?
Well, you always promised you'd introduce me.
I try.
You tried the one time, right?
But tell me, Maureen, how is Johnny Carson to work for?
Oh, he's wonderful.
Is he?
Yeah, it's really
You've
wonderful.
been on 10 times, 12
Yes,
times?
I think I deserve now to be introduced to a stud type.
Yes, you do.
Now I'm single still.
When's your next appearance on Johnny?
When I get some new material.
New material. Oh, I think you're great. I
Thank
think
you.
you're fabulous. Yes, I
Thanks
really
a
do.
lot.
Have you seen her on the Carson show?
No.
You have never? She's wonderful. She's very,
Sorry,
very.
I missed her.
No, she's that.
No, I-
She's a wonderful performer. Yes, and she had lighter hair too. You had
I
different
used to
color
have
hair.
white hair.
White hair like mine. Blondes have fun though, don't we, darling?
Do you? Do we?
Yeah.
Do you?
My hair's blonde, but my head has dyed. Virginia.
You didn't ask me
This-
about my grandchildren.
Yes. How about your grandchildren? How
3
many?
granddaughters and 3 grandsons.
Really?
Yeah, and a noodle grandson that's 2 months old.
They live here? And
No, my son had 2 granddaughters and a little grandson lives in Boise, Idaho.
Boys.
Yeah, that's why I
nice.
don't eat baked potatoes anymore.
This Virginia, this is a beautiful picture of you and Mickey Rooney. This is
Yeah,
Mickey. And
that's
what,
Mick.
what was that in? Or just one?
No,
was
that,
it just-
the studio had me selling some tickets.
What
benefit
movie did you work
tickets
with
for some-
Mickey? You did a lot of films with him, didn't
Yeah, Thousands Cheer.
you? Thousand Cheers.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, this is
And
wonderful. God, Mickey looked
oh,
great there, and you do.
I
Beautiful.
know.
God, what a change, huh?
Oh, I tell you.
He's a great actor. I think he's
He
great.
is.
Did you see him in this wonderful show? Did you see Sugar
Sure.
Bones?
No.
Isn't he great?
Oh,
Oh, they're
and
wonderful.
Ann,
Ann Miller.
oh.
You're dear friends with
Well,
Ann
of
Miller,
course.
aren't you? Naturally. She's in GM. Right, I forgot.
Oh, of course.
This is, what movie was this? With Red Skelton?
Yeah,
God.
DuBarry.
Oh,
was a
DuBarry
lady.
was a lady. Right. You were great there. Dude, that was a great movie.
That was a fun movie.
Yeah, Red Skelton, he was He's a great guy to work with, isn't he?
Oh, yes.
He's one of my favorite comedians.
He introduced me to Superman. Of course, Kirk wasn't Superman then. It was later years. He was a house guest of Red's, and I was always visiting Red and Edna.
Edna, right. Yeah. I met Edna years ago when he had his radio show here in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. She used to be the producer. She used to write for it.
Right.
Yes, she used to write. Yeah, right. I met her through Nancy and Benedict Friedman, who used to write. They wrote Mrs. Mike, the movie, Mrs. Mike.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they were very dear friends of mine. I don't know where they are now, but they're still around somewhere. But Virginia, you look just great. I'm telling you, you're just. I'm glad you're singing, and I'm glad you're out there working, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you are too.
It's kind of fun.
It's wonderful. It keeps you busy.
Oh, yes, I like that.
I like it. It makes you feeling good and young and everything else.
Yeah,
busyness,
it does.
Right?
It helps.
Yeah, I love Hollywood. How long you been here now? How many years?
Because you know I was born in this town. I'm not going to tell you.
Right.
Oh, you thought you were going to trap me. Har-hardy, har-hart.
Do you like Hollywood?
Well, no. Well, it's okay. I just, if I had a lot of money, I guess I'd live somewhere else and then travel in.
New York, you travel a lot, Virginia. I read something that you travel all over the world.
Oh, my husband and I have a plane, you know. We fly all over the place. And I say before, I would ever get into an airplane unless I could go on a train. I wouldn't appear any place. But I've flown hundreds of miles now.
I read that you like to travel, and you've been all over the world. Yeah. I love to travel. That's the only way to do it, right? You've traveled a lot.
Did you go to Australia?
Yeah, I took a boat from Singapore to Perth, and from Perth I took a bus across country, and that's like 5-day trip. I did that. I did it in 1968. I did it because I wanted that experience.
Did you find the men very overly macho there, Skippy?
Yeah, they are overly macho, and there's a club there in Sydney, I must admit. There's one like La Cage aux Folles. It's called La Girls, right? It's in Sydney.
That's right, it's in Sydney.
In Sydney. And they love that type of entertainment. They love female impersonators there, don't they? Those...
It just started when I left.
Oh, it did?
So I don't think that the real macho guys with the beer bellies, you know, really...
The hillbillies, you mean?
I have a joke that they're so macho that they'll get a woman pregnant just to kill a rabbit. But you saw the Road Warrior with the leather pants and the behind star. You know, that's how I remember Australian men, you know?
Yeah, I see. Well, anyway, Maureen, I want to thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
You're wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you for coming, darling.
That's
okay?
right.
Oh,
Well, my darling, thank you. Really,
my pleasure.
a great MGM star, and I love you, darling. Thank you for coming, okay?
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank my guests very, very much, David Litus and Jean Litus, and Miss Maureen Murphy, and the very wonderful Virginia O'Brien. I'd like to leave you with a word that Schwab's has reopened. Not the real Schwab's, but there is a club on Melrose called Teddy's on Melrose. The cooks, the dishwashers, the waitresses, they're all there working. And it's a new Schwab's. Go at Teddy's on Melrose. This is Skip E Lowe from Hollywood. Thank you.